Driving pleasure is dying. Not gradually, not quietly. It's being murdered by manufacturers, regulators, and technology companies who've decided you can't be trusted with a steering wheel. By number 1, you'll discover the single biggest threat to every driving enthusiast in Britain. Here's what dealers won't tell you when you're buying that shiny new motor. The car industry is systematically removing everything that made driving enjoyable. MOT data from the DVSA shows newer cars are failing, more often, despite having better technology. What car? Reliability surveys reveal customer satisfaction is dropping year on year. Independent mechanics across Manchester, Birmingham, and Glasgow are seeing the same pattern. Modern cars are less pleasurable to drive and more expensive to maintain. This isn't progress. This is the controlled demolition of automotive enthusiasm. Number 9. Fake engine noise through the speakers. You're on the M6, foot down, enjoying what sounds like a proper engine note. Except it isn't real. It's a pre-recorded sound file pumped through your speakers to disguise the fact that modern turbocharged engines now sound utterly lifeless. BMW does it in the M5. Ford does it in the Fiesta ST. Even Volkswagen does it in the Golf GTI. Manufacturers call it sound enhancement. Drivers call it what it is: artificial noise designed to trick you. A mechanic in Leeds disconnected the system on a 2019 BMW 330i. The owner was stunned. The actual engine was so quiet, you could barely hear it above road noise. That glorious straight-six rumble he'd fallen in love with? Pure digital theatre. A sound designer created it in a studio. None of it comes from the engine bay. And here's the insult. You're paying £35,000 to £50,000 for a performance car, and the manufacturer doesn't believe the engine can sound good enough on its own. They're literally lying to you through your stereo. You're not hearing combustion, valves, or exhaust flow. You're hearing a speaker pretending to be an engine. Insurance groups for these cars sit between 28 to 35, meaning you're already paying £1,400 to £2,200 annually. Road tax is £190 a year for most models registered after 2017. But the real cost isn't financial, it's emotional. Every time you accelerate, you're responding to a sound that doesn't belong to the car. The emotional bond between driver and machine. Completely severed. You're no longer listening to your engine, you're listening to a playlist. Number 8. Stop-start systems that won't stay off. You're sat in traffic on the M25. The engine cuts out. Again. You restart it. It cuts out again 30 seconds later. The button to disable it only works until you turn the ignition off. Next journey, you're back to the same tedious cycle. Honest John's Reliability Index shows stop-start systems are failing at alarming rates after just 40,000 to 60,000 miles. Starter motor replacement on a Ford Focus, £350 to £500 fitted. Battery upgrade, £150 to £250 versus £80 to £120 for conventional. Annual servicing costs increase by £30 to £50 because these systems need specialist diagnostics. A driver in Birmingham discovered his 2020 Volkswagen Polo's stop-start system had caused premature engine wear. Short journeys mean the engine never reaches optimal temperature. The oil doesn't circulate properly. Carbon builds up faster. His mechanic at an independent garage told him what dealers won't. These systems save manufacturers money on emissions testing, but cost owners thousands in premature wear. The system was designed to reduce CO2 emissions by perhaps 3 to 5% in laboratory conditions, in real-world driving around Bristol or Edinburgh. Negligible benefit. But the wear on your engine, battery, and starter motor is very real. You can't permanently disable it without aftermarket modifications that might affect your warranty. Road tax savings from marginally lower emissions, perhaps £10 per year. Cost of premature component replacement over 5 years, potentially £800 to £1,200. The arithmetic doesn't work in your favour. Number 7. Touchscreens replacing every physical control. Remember when you could adjust the heater without taking your eyes off the motorway? Those days are gone. Modern cars force you to navigate through 3 menu layers just to change the fan speed. Tesla does it. Volkswagen does it in the new Golf. Even Vauxhall is doing it in the Astra. The 2022 Volkswagen Golf removed almost every physical button. Climate control, touchscreen. Drive mode, touchscreen. Even the heated seats require screen interaction. A driver on the A1 near Newcastle reached to turn down the heating, looked down for 3 seconds, and nearly rear-ended a lorry. DVSA data suggests distracted driving incidents are increasing. Insurance companies are taking notice. Admiral and Direct Line are investigating whether touchscreen-heavy vehicles should carry higher premiums. Here's what dealers forget to mention. Touchscreen systems fail. Replacement cost for a failed touchscreen in a Volkswagen Golf, £1,200 to £1,800. In a Tesla Model to £3,500. Not covered under standard warranty after 3 years. When it fails, you lose access to basic vehicle functions. Physical buttons last decades. Touchscreens fail within 5 to 7 years. You're paying for planned obsolescence disguised as technological advancement. Number 6. Overly intrusive safety systems you can't disable. Lane keeping assist that fights you. Automatic emergency braking that slams on for no reason. Speed limit recognition that misreads signs and beeps incessantly. These systems are now mandatory on new cars sold in Britain, and they're destroying the driving experience. A company car driver in Manchester was cruising along a B road in his 2023 Ford Cougar when the lane keeping assist violently jerked the wheel because he was positioned slightly left of center. He wasn't drifting. He was avoiding a pothole. The car disagreed and nearly put him into oncoming traffic. The what car? Survey shows 47% of drivers find these systems irritating rather than helpful. Honest John receives daily complaints. But here's the reality. You can't permanently disable most of them. Each journey requires manual switching off. Some manufacturers don't allow disabling at all. These systems increase insurance group ratings by 2 to 4 points because repair costs are astronomical. Replacing a damaged front radar, £800 to £1,500. Recalibration after windscreen replacement, £150 to £300 extra. Cameras and sensors around the bodywork turn minor parking scrapes into £1,000 plus repair bills. Company car tax implications matter too. These systems add weight, reducing fuel efficiency, which increases BIK percentages. A 40% taxpayer driving a £35,000 car with 130 grams per kilometre, CO2 pays approximately £3,640 annually. The bigger issue is philosophical. These systems assume you're incompetent. They override your decisions. They remove agency. Driving becomes a negotiation with the car rather than collaboration. That's not progress. That's infantilization. Number 4. Electric power steering with zero feedback. Hydraulic power steering is nearly extinct. What's replaced it offers nothing. No communication from the road surface, no sense of grip levels, just a vague, disconnected suggestion of where the front wheels might be pointing. The Porsche 911 switched to electric power steering in 2012, and enthusiasts mourned. The BMW 3 Series followed. Now even the Mazda MX-5, the purist's favorite, uses electric assistance. A driver in Wales took his 2021 MX-5 on the A470 through Snowdonia and couldn't feel the road. The steering was light, lifeless, and utterly numb. Independent mechanics confirm that electric power steering racks fail more frequently than hydraulic systems ever did. Replacement cost on a Volkswagen Golf, £600 to £900 fitted. On a BMW 3 Series, £1,200 to £1,800. Hydraulic racks on older models lasted 150,000 to 200,000 miles with minimal maintenance. These electric units show problems at 60,000 to 80,000 miles. Here's what the manufacturers won't admit. Electric power steering saves them money. It's cheaper to manufacture. It improves fuel economy by perhaps 2 to 3%, helping them meet fleet average emissions targets. But it obliterates driver engagement. You're navigating a roundabout in Reading or negotiating a country lane near Edinburgh, and you have no idea what the front tyres are doing. The steering wheel could be attached to a PlayStation controller for all the feedback it provides. The connection between driver and road, gone. Number 3, turbocharged engines with no character. Naturally aspirated engines are dying. Those linear, predictable, characterful power deliveries have been replaced by turbocharged units that feel like light switches. Nothing. Then suddenly, all the power arrives at once. The Ford Focus switched from a brilliant naturally aspirated 2.0 litre to a 1.0 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder. On paper, the performance is similar. In reality, the driving experience is incomparable. The old engine sang to 7,000 RPM. The new one delivers its peak torque at 1,500 RPM and then runs out of enthusiasm by 5,000 RPM. A mechanic in Liverpool has seen the consequences. These small turbocharged engines are under immense stress. Turbo failures on Ford EcoBoost engines between 60,000 to 100,000 miles are common. Replacement cost? 1,200 to 1,800 fitted. Timing belt service on the 1.0 EcoBoost? 650 to 850 every 100,000 miles or 10 years. Here's the data dealers ignore. What car? Reliability surveys show turbocharged engines have more problems than naturally aspirated equivalents. Oil consumption is higher. Carbon, build-up on direct injection systems, requires expensive cleaning. Road tax for these engines is typically £190 per year. Fuel consumption in real-world driving around London or Glasgow rarely meets claimed figures. The 1.0 EcoBoost claims 55 miles per gallon. Owners on Auto Trader forums report 38 to 42 miles per gallon in typical use. That's a 25% discrepancy. Insurance groups have increased too. The 1.0 EcoBoost Focus sits in group 12 to 15, compared to group 8 to 10 for the old 1.6 naturally aspirated model. Annual premiums increase by £150 to £300 for younger drivers. Number 2, automatic gearboxes that remove all driver control. Manual gearboxes are disappearing. Some manufacturers don't even offer them anymore. What's replacing them? CVTs, that drone. Dual clutch boxes that judder. 8-speed automatics that second-guess your every input. The Volkswagen DSG gearbox seemed brilliant when it launched. Then the problems emerged. Mechatronic unit failures, clutch pack replacements at 50,000 to 70,000 miles. The repair cost? £1,500 to £2,500. The Ford PowerShift dual clutch. Even worse, tyre class action lawsuits in America. Owners in Britain facing £2,000 to £3,000 repair bills. A buyer in Cardiff purchased a 2016 Volkswagen Golf with a DSG gearbox. At 62,000 miles, the mechatronic unit failed. The car went into limp mode on the M4. The recovery cost £150. The repair quote from an independent specialist? £1,800. From a main dealer? £2,400. The car was worth £8,500. The repair represented 20 to 28% of the vehicle's value. But it's not just reliability, it's the driving experience. You're descending a hill in the Peak District, wanting engine braking. The automatic gearbox decides you want to coast and disengages drive. You're approaching a roundabout on the A40, wanting second gear. The gearbox selects third and the engine bogs down. Manual gearboxes gave you total control. You decided when to shift. You matched revs. You felt connected. Automatics remove all of that. They turn you from a driver into a passenger who happens to steer. Insurance groups are often 1 to 2 points higher for automatic versions. Road tax is usually identical, but fuel consumption is frequently worse despite manufacturer claims. Service costs increase by £50 to £80 annually because automatic gearboxes require more expensive fluid changes and diagnostic checks. Number 1. Subscription services for features already in your car. BMW tried to charge a monthly fee for heated seats. The hardware is already installed. You've already paid for it when you bought the car. But they wanted an additional subscription to activate software that unlocks it. Toyota is doing similar things with remote start features. Mercedes is charging for additional horsepower via software updates. This is the most cynical development in automotive history. A driver in London bought a brand new BMW 3 Series for £42,000. 6 months later, BMW sent an email offering to unlock the heated seats for £15 per month or £200 per year. The seats were already there. The heating elements were installed at the factory. BMW just disabled them in software. Here's the terrifying future. You don't own the car anymore. You lease access to its features. The subscription model is spreading. In-car Wi-Fi. Subscription. Advanced navigation. Subscription. Performance modes. Subscription. Every feature becomes recurring revenue. The implications for the used market are devastating. When you sell the car, do subscriptions transfer? Can the new owner access features the first owner paid for? Does the car depreciate faster because buyers know they'll face ongoing costs? Compare the Market and other insurance comparison sites don't yet factor in subscription costs when calculating total cost of ownership. But they should. If you're paying £15 to £30 monthly for various features, that's £180 to £360 annually on top of insurance. £1,200 average. Road tax, £190. Servicing, £300. And fuel, £1,800 at 10,000 miles and 45 miles per gallon. The total cost of ownership is spiraling whilst the enjoyment decreases. You're renting features in a car you supposedly own. The manufacturers have discovered a way to extract money from you for the entire ownership period, not just at the point of sale. And now, the worst offender. Number 1. Complete electrification, killing driving emotion entirely. The internal combustion engine is being outlawed. By 2030, you won't be able to buy a new petrol or diesel car in Britain. By 2035, the used market will begin to dry up as older vehicles are scrapped. The government, manufacturers, and environmental activists have decided that driving must become silent, sterile, and soulless. Electric cars have their place, but they've killed everything that made driving visceral. No engine note, no gear changes, no clutch pedal, no mechanical connection between your right foot, and the power delivery. Just instant, relentless, emotionless torque that feels identical whether you're driving a £35,000 Tesla Model 3 or a £100,000 Porsche Taycan. A driving enthusiast in Scotland sold his BMW M3 and bought a Tesla Model 3 Performance because of Edinburgh's emissions zones and the ULEZ expansion. The Tesla is faster. It's cheaper to run, but every journey feels the same. There's no crescendo as the revs climb. No satisfaction from a perfectly executed downshift. No drama. No theatre. No soul. The what car? Survey shows electric car owners are less satisfied with their vehicles after 2 years compared to petrol or diesel owners. Depreciation is brutal. A 2020 Tesla Model 3 has lost 35 to 40% of its value. Range anxiety is real. Cold weather reduces range by 20 to 30%. But the existential problem is emotional. Driving an electric car is like eating a meal with no taste, no texture, no aroma. It gets you from A to B efficiently, but nourishes nothing in your soul. The connection between human and machine has been severed. You're operating an appliance, not driving a car. The sound of a naturally aspirated engine at 7,000 revolutions per minute. The mechanical precision of a manual gearbox. The feedback through hydraulic steering. The theatre of internal combustion. All of it is being systematically eliminated, not because drivers want it, because regulators demand it and manufacturers find it cheaper. Here's the pattern you need to understand. Every change listed here makes cars easier to manufacture, easier to regulate, and more profitable for manufacturers, while simultaneously making them less pleasurable to drive and more expensive to maintain. This isn't accidental, it's intentional. The car industry has decided that driving pleasure is an indulgence we can no longer afford. Environmental regulations, safety mandates, and profit maximization have combined to create transport appliances rather than driving machines. MOT data shows newer cars fail more often. Insurance costs keep rising, repair bills increase, yet driving satisfaction decreases year on year. Buying a car used to be about passion. Now, it's about compliance. You're not choosing a vehicle that excites you. You're selecting the least objectionable option that meets regulatory requirements and fits within emission zones. That's not progress, that's surrender. If this saved you from buying a modern car that would disappoint you, hit that like button. The manufacturers need to know we're aware of what they're doing. What's been your experience with modern cars killing driving pleasure? Have you sold a newer car to buy something older with more character? Drop your story in the comments. I read every one, and your experiences help other viewers make informed decisions. Subscribe for honest automotive advice that dealers won't tell you. Real-world ownership costs, MOT failure data, insurance implications. Everything you need to make smart buying decisions in the British market.